Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is August 10th, 2025, and tomorrow the Royal Spanish Football Federation will be holding an important meeting that will determine whether Barcelona will play a La Liga match in Miami. Also, the striker that Hansi Flick has recommended to Barcelona as Robert Lewandowski's replacement. And finally, reports out of Germany stating that Barcelona could be the favorites to sign Harry Kane. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. We'll begin this video with the news that today Barcelona concluded their preseason after defeating Como 5-0 in the Joan Gamper Trophy match with 2 goals by Fermín López, 2 goals by Lamine Yamal, and a goal by Coutinho, a match which I did do the watch along, which a lot of you joined, so thank you for joining the watch along. And of course, as I mentioned, we'll be doing a watch along for every single Barcelona match this season, as long as it's on a weekend. Now with this, Barcelona have won 4 out of the 4 preseason matches, having scored 20 goals and conceded only 4. So that's 1 conceded goal for every 5 scored goals by Barcelona. Absolutely amazing preseason for the team, a team that continues to show that they have fully assimilated Hansi Flick's idea, a team that has a clear idea and strategy and identity of what to do on the field, a team that is totally insatiable. Doesn't matter if they're up 4, 5, 6-0, they're still looking for the next and the next and the next goal, and a team that will be able to compete for all trophies during this season. And I gotta say, I cannot wait for this season to begin. Now, of course, I want to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions. What did you think about Barcelona's match against Como and the preseason in general? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, speaking of matches, tomorrow the Royal Spanish Football Federation will be meeting during a board of directors special meeting in order to discuss whether to allow a official La Liga match to be played in Miami. Now, the match we're talking about is the Villarreal versus Barcelona match scheduled for the weekend of December 20th, 2025. And as you know, Tebas, for several years now, has been trying to get some La Liga matches to be played in the United States as a way to promote La Liga. And as I mentioned in previous videos, there was talks about maybe this is why Joan Laporta had decided not to file any complaints against Javier Tebas that would remove him as the president of La Liga, because there was some kind of pact between the two where Laporta would back off, not get Tebas removed, and in exchange Tebas would pick Barcelona as the club that would get to play in the US, because of course this would benefit not only La Liga and bringing in more money for the Spanish league, but it would also benefit Barcelona, because of course we would make more money out of this by playing in the US than by playing here, I'm not here, but in Spain. Now, tomorrow, if the Royal Spanish Football Federation do decide that to go ahead and approve this, then it would move over to UEFA. UEFA would have until November 30th, which is 21 days before the match is supposed to be played, to decide on whether to greenlight it or not. If UEFA greenlights it, then it goes to CONCACAF and also to the US Soccer Federation, and they have to approve it as well. So it goes, Barcelona and Villarreal have to agree. They have. Then the Royal Spanish Football Federation, then UEFA, then CONCACAF, then the U.S. Soccer Federation. If everybody is in agreement, Barcelona will be playing the match against Villarreal on December 20th, 2025 in Miami at the Hard Rock Stadium. Now, I want to hear you guys' thoughts. What do you think about this? I mean, on one hand, yes, the club would make a lot more money playing this, but on the other hand, you're talking about the players having to travel halfway around the world, adjust to a completely new time zone, and then they have to fly back again halfway around the world, readjust to the time zone. Not to mention the trip itself is pretty tiring, and it's like 8-9 hours flight from Spain to Miami. And then of course there's the whole, this is supposed to be a Villarreal match. Can you imagine being a Villarreal fan with season tickets? You're looking forward to one of the most exciting matches of the season where your team plays against Barcelona, and then now you're told, oh, sorry, you can't watch it unless you want to spend $3,000-$4,000 to travel to the US. It's a little messy, but I do want to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Now, on to the next bit of news, because, ladies and gentlemen, there's been a lot of talks and a lot of fears that perhaps Robert Lewandowski could be leaving, because there has been a lot of interest from Saudi Arabia, more specifically Al Hilal, who have been after the player to sign him. And now that it's been announced that Lewandowski will be out for the next 3 weeks and he will miss the 3 first fixtures of La Liga, there was a lot of fears that started emerging online with people saying, wait a minute, this sounds like the Inigo Martinez case. Well, we were told that Inigo Martinez was injured. Next thing you know, it's announced Inigo Martinez is going to Saudi Arabia. So a lot of fears here that Lewandowski may be following as well. Well, I'm here to tell you that don't worry, Lewandowski is not leaving. In fact, his circle has already confirmed that no, Lewandowski is planning to stay until the end of the season. And there was a lot of fear too, because there was rumors saying that Lewandowski had inquired about what's life like in Saudi Arabia. He had even asked about specific neighborhoods. That is true. Lewandowski has inquired about that, but not because he's looking to leave Saudi now. It's because he's already thinking about where am I going to go next summer when his contract expires with Barcelona, because he will have also offers from the U.S. So he's kind of like trying to weigh his options. Do I go to Saudi? Do I go to the U.S.? But don't worry, Lewandowski not planning to leave during the summer. And in fact, Al Hilal just signed Darwin Núñez. So they're definitely not looking for a center forward. Maybe they would be interested next summer, but definitely not now. Now, speaking of Lewandowski, we do now the name that Hansi Flick has recommended to Barcelona to sign as Lewandowski's replacement, and it's no other than Nick Woltemade. Now, if you haven't heard of Nick Woltemade, he's a 23-year-old striker who currently plays in Stuttgart. In fact, his contract is until 2028 with Stuttgart. But despite that, he has become one of the strikers that have been talked the most in Europe. Last season, he finished with 17 goals and 3 assists. And it's reported that Hansi Flick has been tracking him for years. And it seems that Flick is very impressed with Nick's ability to thrive in small spaces, and how he also effectively can link up with his teammates, and how he also can adapt to various tactical setups. So Flick been tracking Nick for quite some time, very impressed with him, and he has recommended that Barcelona sign him next summer as a replacement for Robert Lewandowski. But what's the problem? Of course, the problem is his price tag, because this summer Stuttgart were asking for 70 million euros, something that Barcelona cannot afford. It's a lot of money. And if Nick has another incredible season in the Bundesliga, who's to say that price is not going to jump up next summer to maybe 80 or 90, or who knows? And if that happens, of course, then that means that Barcelona would be out of the race for Nick Woltemade. But here is another bombshell news, because today German sources confirming that Barcelona would be favorites to sign Harry Kane. Now, Nick Woltemade is not only admired by Barcelona. Nick Woltemade is also admired by Bayern Munich, who tried to sign him this summer, but it didn't work out. And it's reported that next summer, Bayern Munich would be willing to offload Harry Kane in order to generate funds to be able to sign Nick Woltemade. So if Nick Woltemade ends up becoming too expensive for Barcelona, and Bayern Munich end up selling Harry Kane in order to sign Nick Woltemade, it's reported that Barcelona would be favorites to sign Harry Kane, because even though they would prefer Nick Woltemade, if they cannot afford him, Harry Kane becomes a more affordable option, and not a bad option either, because even though he is 32 years old, you know, he's someone with plenty of experience at all levels. He's someone that scores a lot of goals, someone that can come to Barcelona, maybe give us 2-3 good seasons. That would give, of course, Barcelona more time to improve its financial condition, and then eventually being able to make a big expenditure on a signing for the center forward position, kind of like what Barcelona did with Lewandowski. Like, yeah, he was past his prime, but it's still a big heavyweight name. They brought him, and look, 42 goals last season alone. So that's kind of would be the same formula with Harry Kane. Of course, Harry Kane would be younger than Lewandowski if he does end up coming. But of course, I want to hear you guys' thoughts. What do you think about the Harry Kane option? Do you think it's a valid option in case Barcelona cannot afford Nick Woltemade or anyone around that age, someone in his prime? Let me know down below in the comment section. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always...